Okay, here is the typical hard beginning of our show where I don't know if we're live or not.
Well,
Hello,
gosh darn
everybody.
it, Skeeter. Gosh
I'm
darn it.
I'm waiting to see. Yes, I think we're live. We
Gosh
have
darn it.
connection.
Darn it.
Hey, everybody. It's Skeeter Green and Zach Laser of Goddammit Zach. How are y'all doing today? Zach, how are you doing? Are you
I'm doing
recovered?
fantastic. I'm
Are you
doing
rec-
fantastic.
so you're fully recovered from your trip to the largest state? Is it the largest state or is Alaska the
The
largest
largest
state?
state in the lower 48. Alaska's like, a lot bigger, but it only has Keelan in it
That's
and
true.
Don.
That is also true.
So,
Uh,
hey, real quick, I want
yes.
to let you know today's a day of special celebration because the state of Arizona has improved just a little bit because Matt Finch is actually moving from here to Indiana
Oh
on
no.
a trip. And no, it's actually fine because one, I know his phone number, so I can still make him work. But two, Arizona just got cooler.
Oh, that's a deep cut.
It's a deep
Savage.
cut. Unfortunately, between he and I, there's not like 1 ounce of cool between us. So
Yeah. Well. So one of the only people watching us right now,
is
my buddy Joe,
Joe.
who is part of one of the best artistic pranks on me ever. Yeah, I'm still pushing this one. You motherfucker. There's a whole story that goes along with that I'm not going to get into right now. Zach, take us
Yes,
on a trip down memory lane
memory
and tell
lane.
us about your experience at the North Texas RPG Con.
It was fucking great. That's what it was. It was fucking great. It was great to be back in person. I went last year during the missing year.
Right.
Um, it was like 50 or 60 of us masked up and huddled, and wasn't quite the same at all. But I was there. But this time, it was back, baby. It was back, and it was roaring. It was felt like I just it felt like there was no 2020, which was a good thing. Everybody there was there to game. Some people wore masks that felt the need to. Nobody was an asshole about any of that stuff.
Yeah, it was
Um,
great.
they had vendors that had cool stuff. They had lots of cool games getting played. I played Call of Cthulhu with Guppy. I played Gladiator. Got my ass kicked with Rob Ballata, who we don't have pictures of. Um, and
Um,
I
that's
saw
that's
everybody.
not entirely true.
Okay, we don't have. Okay, we do. Damn it, curse. No, everything was fun. We had a great. They raised a lot of money in the auction for North Texas. Jim Kitchen was there and ran the auction. It was great. I didn't win anything. My wife thought that was great. There was a midnight auction. That was interesting as usual. Uh,
Yes.
what happens there stays kind of there.
Well, not
Not this
today.
time. Oh boy. No, but it was great to see everybody. Lots of games got played. Lots of nerd talk got talked. Doug Ray couldn't be there unfortunately, and that was really unfortunate. Except for everybody came together and they wished him well, and they had a video camera, and he called to make sure film the midnight auction from his hospital room, and he's doing actually quite good. Gary Oliver just posted about it, and I heard from Mike that he's improving. They expect him to be in the hospital a little bit longer, but actually he's doing far better than you could expect. So without
Excellent.
him in his honor, it went fantastic because he had 10 years of making sure 12, it went right every year. They're just you know, kind of just learning off his laurels, man, living off his work.
Excellent. I am actually trying to do something. I'm not just
No,
sitting here like a
I'll keep
dummy.
talking. No, honestly, but the great part was it was in the hotel at the Westin, like it was the last 3 or 4 years, and it was
Yeah.
set up nicely. They had we had some wicked cool art that was put up. They had some great artists in the gallery. They had Keelan brought some neat stuff, but I know that Jeff Easley wasn't there, but he did sell a great big piece of art that
Oh boy.
I won't say who bought it, but Alberta Chulik bought it for a lot of money
Yeah.
in the auction. So Jeff was there in spirit. Janelle was there.
I'm trying to make this work out. I have some pictures.
Well, there you go.
There we go.
Anyway, so there's Skeeter at the independent publishers table, and that's kind of terrible. That
Oh,
was a low point actually for me, was seeing cool people get selling stuff when Frog God did not. That was low point.
And then there's another picture because
There's probably doubles in there because Zach set it up.
multiple of these pictures happen. So
That's all right.
let's
There you
let's
go.
move on.
Hey,
Little
look,
Ainsley.
Ainsley actually didn't work for Frog God recently. She's probably the most competent person I work with, which is unsurprising. That includes her dad, who's very cool, but she's awesome.
Yep.
There
There's
are more young people there this year, actually.
yeah, there were. And we'll have a picture of two very important young people to me, and not in a creepy way at all. Uh,
Okay,
my kids. This was their first convention. Um, so we'll just more
very
Ainsley.
good.
Look, they're the long con guys. They
And
were
they should be happy because this one went so well. They know they're going to do well in the con.
oh, they're gonna kill it. Um,
And there's you again.
there's
But this
me
time your head's
again.
on.
Okay,
There's
can
your
we
head on.
not
Yeah.
have just these pictures? Apparently that's all that is showing
You
up.
only have 3 separate cycles, Peter.
Um, well, I don't
I
love
love it.
that.
This is the prep you expect. I even gave him pictures.
Yes. Tell them when you gave me these pictures.
I gave him these pictures plenty of time for the show to start because I was early today.
Yes, I received these pictures 7 minutes ago.
So let's discuss what was on the independent table while you're working. What did you guys have for sale there?
So, for sale there, as you can see, we
Well,
had
what was it, first of all? If you weren't at North Texas, like you should have been, but if you weren't, in the hall you saw this booth. What was it, Scooter?
the Independent Publishers Union. I was a special guest at the convention because obviously they were afraid that none of the other special guests would show up, so they had to have some rando be special guests. Um, no, I'm joking. I really appreciate it. This is the second time I've gotten to be a special guest for North Texas. Appreciate it every time. Um, and what you get as a special guest is you get a table to put out your wares and sell a few items. So for me in particular, I needed about 4 square feet of that table space for my offerings, and thought that was kind of a dick move to take up the space from some people that
And
could
so
really
you did
use it.
do that, though. You did not do that, though, even though it was the dick move.
I did not do that. So what I did is I got a few of my independent publisher friends and we went in on a table together. So represented here in this picture, over on the right as I see it, is Mud Puppy Games from Jim
Mm-hmm.
Wampler. You see the
Yes.
Scientific Barbarians.
I see
You
Marvin
see
Mage.
Marvin the Mage. You can see Check This Artifact and Fight This Mutant. Moving over,
Next to that, I see like, is that Creeping Cold?
that is Creeping Cold from the Silver Boulets, Ian
It's cool the
McGarty
Rocky guy stuff
and
there, but is the other guy there? I don't see.
which
McGarty was
other
he there?
guy?
McGarty,
Uh,
the other part of Silver Lake.
yes, Ian McGarty and Rocky Gardner. We had Creeping Cold and the
Orbs,
uh,
right? Orb.
Orbs Omnibus and the Black Lung, which was our tribute slash charity module for Rocky. As a lot of people know, he was diagnosed with lung cancer last year and kicked the shit out of that.
Yeah, he
He
did kick the
he
shit out of
is
that.
he is cancer free, and we're all very appreciative. But that little black lung zine was a bit of a fundraiser for him, so we were happy to do that. Uh, Kevin Watson from Dark Naga Games
You know
had
him?
had some modules out there.
Was it the
Yes,
Hasbro one with the all the
yes,
ones?
the
Excellent.
entire series 1 through
Yeah.
5. And he gave us a bunch of cool dice and pins, which flew off the table like crazy.
My
We
pens always do that.
yeah, we could barely keep those in stock. The little down there on the left corner, uh, James Shields put some of his art out there
Oh,
to
badass.
to peddle some art, and that was an awesome ad. We were not expecting. Always very happy. Those great big black and white pictures behind us, those were actually the maps that Ian used for his jungle adventure that he ran, and I did get to play in, which is set in my own world setting. So Ian did that and came up with some stuff, and it turned out super cool. What you can't see over to stage left is I had to commandeer an entirely additional table just for the Levi Combs Planet X wing
No kidding.
of our table because Levi decided to bring like 47 titles to the show. Um, and we are supporting Levi with Jungle Tomb of the Mummy Bride. This is his Kickstarter has 24 hours to go. 24 hours to go. Please, if you have not backed this Kickstarter, take a look at it. It's got some wonderful stuff. And yes, before you even say anything, Jungle Tomb of the Mummy Bride was released for 5th edition. This is a DCC remake. There's additional material. It's been rewritten for DCC. There are a number of stretch goals.
Quiet for a second, Street Green.
What?
I want to say something. Jungle Tomb of the Mummy Bride is one of the best things that I read in the last couple of years. Michael Potter, who's a guy who does our conversions for Fantasy Grounds, is very particular. He's very, very particular. He loves this one, says it's one of the cleanest and best things ever written. So if you don't have it, you should support the Kickstarter because it really is that good.
It's
and I like to support lots of Kickstarters, but Levi's, if you missed the first one, you shouldn't miss this one because look at the art. It's amazing. It really is.
It's all the people that you're used to that we have.
Levi owed me $10.
What?
I told Levi owes me $10. I'm just kidding. No, the art's amazing. This new art with the DCC stuff, right?
There is some new art because there are additional authors being brought in because of stretch goals. And as you look at these stretch goals where Levi killed them all, it was just amazing. I should say the fans crushed all these. But look at this. Left? 12,500. Casey Christopherson is writing 5 pages of DCC content.
You better do it when he's not doing work for Frog Guy. You have to do it in spare time.
At 14,000, some hack named Skeeter Green is writing 5 pages of additional content.
Okay, I was excited. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know.
Hey, I wasn't even asked, dude. You should be pleased.
I'm bringing down the bell curve. But yeah, this is going to be fantastic.
Oh, what's the next special? Is not unlocked.
The next stretch goal not unlocked
21,000
is Dan Bishop.
Right on.
5 more pages, and that. Oh, we're so close. With 23 hours to go, we only need $750 to get Dan Bishop on board. So come on, people.
We actually want to go all the way. I think it's 23 is the last one because we don't make him write another stretch goal tonight. That's the best thing you can do to a creator, always.
Yes.
25.
And Levi is super professional, so this is not going to get thrown to the wolves. This is very clean.
I'm assuming the same layout Queen is doing this one that did before Tracy. She did such a good job.
Yeah, really and I got to meet Tracy at North Texas and talk about a professional.
Talk about a nice person.
Yeah.
It was weird to hang out.
Super great, and sort of pissed me off because it's like, you're professional. What are you doing here? This is not an industry for professionals. I mean, look at us.
Oh man, that's not true.
That's a super slam. But yes, please, we're gonna keep this up. I'm going to go through some additional pictures that I have. Excellent. So this is the team, or the staff, as they like to call themselves, of North Texas RPG Con. And there is a notable face missing from that, Mr. Doug Ray, who was unable to make it
but he was there everywhere. He was there everywhere.
He was there in spirit, and he will be at the next convention for sure. And
he will, because there are things he wants to fix about how they ran it, I assure you.
Which I have to say, they did an excellent job. Gary Oliver
Oliver.
was running the convention off of a book of notes from Doug. Doug gave him like 12 pages of notes.
And the thing
So,
is he's been there every year, and it's not like he didn't know, but he's going to follow those letter for two reasons. One, Doug would never let him live it down, and two, there's method to his madness, and so with him not being there, it was like he was there in spirit. So it was really well done.
and Gary is actually in the chat here
Well, I'm sorry I said nice stuff
on
about him now.
YouTube. No kidding. I mean, now I just
You
want
know
to
what,
talk shit
Gary
about him.
Oliver, you actually were lazy. Mike Badalow showed you up twice. Twice I saw him working twice as hard as you. Two times.
Well, I mean,
Okay, it's unbelievable. I'm sorry.
twice minimum is still not a lot.
I saw Mike Badalow twice. Does that count?
Oh, that's awful. Yeah, but everybody there was just a champ.
Yeah,
Now
thanks, Gary.
I'm not
Seriously.
sure about that second guy from the left wearing the hat in the way back. He seems like a reprobate. So
He was this time because they kept on doing everything before he could show up to help. So
yeah,
I was mostly there next to my wife who did help. I was there next to her in spirit.
yeah, whatever.
But I do have the shirt.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. No, everything regarding the convention went very well from my perspective as a guest and an attendee and a fan of the show. I was very happy. I was taken care of very well. I saw a number of the staff helping other people, and it was just great for everyone to be there in person and to be having fun. And it went, I'm not going to say it was flawless because there was almost an incident, but even though there was almost an incident, Mr. Gary Oliver stood up, handled the
Well, I thought it was
situation
flawless.
like a champion. So well, Gary had to talk me off the ledge one night. So
Who does not?
yeah, I
Big
know.
deal. Hey, Gary, welcome to the club.
Yeah,
If you think that's exciting, wait till next year. You get to do it again. It
Yeah.
gets awesome, sort of. There you go.
yeah. I'm not gonna say I'm not often a problem, but whatever. So
You're manageable. So we manage you, Steve.
yeah. So moving on, this was day one of the Independent Publishers Union, and if that is not a sales leprechaun right there, I don't know what is.
Where's his green hat?
It's under the table next to his pot of gold. Now
No, that's
I
not real gold.
I got up, or to I got to the table early and started setting everything up. That's why it's disheveled and looks like shit. In the later pictures, Ian reset everything so it looked manageable. Um,
I saw him clean up after you 3 or 4 times.
oh yeah, I'm sure of that. Uh, I set up Levi's t-shirts there to display them because there's a Planet X line of activewear for the discerning gamer.
Did he bring
Not realizing none of that stuff was for sale. Those were all gifts.
Did he have any of the airsick bags? Because those are the one thing that he's done that nobody
No,
else has
he
done.
didn't. He didn't bring any of those, much to my chagrin. So yeah, the Independent Publishers Union is going to make their next stop at Gamehole this year. We're going to have a table in Demo Row. So if you missed us at North Texas, come swing by.
Say I want to join this publishers union. Say I have a product that you've heard of or we pitched before, and you know us, and we just don't remember that you have something. How would we get that part of the union? Is that possible?
Well, you would have to be joining the union as lesser known games because we don't accept these large frog god type companies. That's not for the small independent publishers.
I was not talking about myself.
Well, then I don't know who you're talking for.
Well, no, if there's anybody else who's independent who has produced stuff that we know that has made books that not necessarily comes to cons, is there a way they can get a hold of you or some way?
Yes, they can get a hold of me. And now thank you for making it awkward when somebody wants to get a hold of me and do this and I have to tell them no.
Oh, no problem. That's the whole point.
Yes.
Because they can then ask me afterwards and I can be magnanimous.
Sweet. Oh, and in the chat is my favorite troll, Jason Braun, who I
Ooh,
enjoyed so much seeing in person. He is a lovely individual.
I
And
have
I was once again reminded of our midnight auctioning event of scissoring, which, if you don't know what that is, please, by all means, Google that.
I had a picture of it actually today. I ran across.
Yeah. Okay, so next in our lineup,
Oh, hey.
here's two suave individuals. Uh,
I'm going to say suave,
yeah,
but that went great.
yes. So this was the small publisher seminar, and that clean Q-tip off to the right was trying to manage things and just said words that were sometimes unintelligible, most of the time completely without
Well,
value.
we were lucky. Jeff Talanian actually was smart of both of us, and he was there and answered a
Yes,
bunch of questions and was really,
he did.
really accessible
The
and
the
has good
thing
perspective.
the thing about this particular picture is this picture was taken by Mr. Steve Marsh, who was also extremely valuable, lots of advice, brought up some excellent points,
He
and
worked at OD&D. Being in our audience made me feel like a fraud.
well, and as much as I do not want to admit this, and I will deny it, even though I'm saying it on a recorded
Stream.
video cast, uh, Ty Beard was very, very helpful in our seminar and answered a lot of questions neither of us are at all qualified to answer, which is kind of the same thing Jeff Talanian did.
Well, that's kind of the point of why we have these, is so you can meet with other people who have skill sets that we don't have. And there's nothing in the world like having an attorney sit in the room and answer questions for free that
Exactly.
he doesn't have time to say, I'm a lawyer, but this is not my special. He just started
Right.
talking and you can just say, quote him, right?
Yeah. No, and it was excellent advice. And one of the best things about these small publisher seminars is Zach and I don't by any means know everything about small publishing. But what we've done is created a forum where people will come in and it's more of an idea share. But I'm not going to change the title because,
Well, and I will say that the greatest part is you have people who are making very small projects that they want to make very badly. That are really cool. They want to participate in projects or making art, like Keelan was making art projects. There are different stages of the process, but you got some of everybody. You
yeah,
have ideas and people who are asking questions that may relate to you, they may not. But the one thing is nice is I didn't even think of the part with Ty because I just his voice, I hear it all the time. Um, I wasn't thinking of that, so he did give really good advice, and he was willing to do it for people who
excellent,
shared it. And
excellent advice.
maybe we'll have it on the show someday. We'll
Yeah,
get stuff thrown at us.
no, that would be great. And so right before the small publisher seminar, Casey Christofferson was doing an art seminar,
Yes, he
which
was.
I sort of crashed. And it worked out great because there were aspects and questions that were asked in the art seminar that I was able to answer as far as being a small publisher and like requests for stock art and how do you approach an artist, and we got into art direction and uh, providing notes for artists because I am notoriously shit
It
at
was
doing that.
it was literally like if you wanted a 4 hours of really in depth, hey, how do I do things? They wanted answers. This was actually the cheapest way to get that done with people who actually mostly know what they're doing. I don't count me as
Yeah,
it.
and I don't like to suggest double teaming with Casey, but in this particular small scenario, it worked out pretty well. Uh,
We
Jason,
should look
Jason
into that.
Braun and Wonky were in there. Wonky asked a bunch of questions and
Good
kept
questions.
the narrative going, which allowed other people to ask questions, and it was really good. It went 2 hours, and it did not feel like it was 2 hours of like doing a
No,
lecture or college course or anything, but as I was told by a couple of people who actually know things, that was a college level course on small publishing and not just a TED talk
so
from
we
two
promised to do
idiots.
worse at game hole. Basically, we've hit our high point, right?
Absolutely. And moving on with our North Texas summary, our hospitality angels
They were
who
really worked hard.
were all over the place, um, bringing people stuff, helping make sure the game masters and the people, were well fed, hydrated, anything
So
anybody needed.
wonderful people like that. They have people like that at Gen Con that bring you food and take good care of you and are really polite. They have that at Gen Con or something.
I don't know if they do that.
They don't. Of course, they don't. This is
I
what makes
I
Texas
don't know.
awesome.
Yeah, and the fact that both are always smiling.
Yeah.
Just sometimes when you're tired, that can make a huge difference. And they are wonderful people.
Never quit walking.
No, always moving. So here we're at 526. Here's where North Texas starts to go off the rails.
Where? Oh, I think I know.
So this is a
Yeah,
picture of the notorious PEXX
we know who that is.
and his
I think he's a
band.
PEXXX in that picture. He's
Well,
all
this is
three, man.
his band of vagabonds, which this is the coolest RPG rap album cover ever.
Is
Uh,
that Levi in the bottom corner, like giving me the?
that is Levi the Gangster Assassin. Um, we
Look at hiding from
I
the cop.
this is four idiots around a chair who decide to take a picture. There was zero planning
Oh,
going on here.
do it on his crown. On his the crown sits on his furrowed brow. It's like a Robert E. Howard cover. I love it. It makes me
For
happy.
for those of you who don't know who that bearded hunk of man candy is, that is the Pex behind the throne normally, who is in charge of everything that Zach does.
Everybody in my circles knows him as Pex. His name is John Barnhouse, and has an unsung hero. He does a lot of work for promotions and everything. He deserved this picture because this is the kind of way he should be treated instead of how I treat him. So I was pleased
And
to see that.
and one of the sweetest people I've met in RPGs. Always kind of got a smile on his face. Very nice, very hardworking, and much less of a piece of shit than you would imagine.
Certainly than I am. So
And moving on, these three idiots were in rare form. This is a picture from 2019,
oh,
but this did not change one iota.
okay. So that was just in the folder.
Yeah, this is just one that I like
Oh, fair enough.
because
I'm like Levi has a grayer beard now.
yeah. Well, that's five crazy eyes and a tongue, and just yeah, the
I
story of
recognize Casey. I don't recognize the other two.
yeah the story of how these three uh, get along in the RPG world is just
Sure.
mind blowing. And then we have here. This is
A
Casey
badass game.
Christopherson taking over from Ainsley, who was running her game for the first time. And if you look at those angelic faces along the left, at least the
The
leftmost,
average age of that game, it must be 30 for a change. That's awesome.
well, along the left is my son Tristan, Ainsley, Casey's daughter, and my daughter Ebby there with the red and black hair, and then Jake, who I would like to adopt
No, I
or
was going to
or
say
be
that
adopted by.
I'm happy to. I can spoon if you ever need like a father type person for you to help you out. I'll be there for you because I need someone to take care of me when I'm dead or almost dead.
He would probably do that without needing the responsibility of you being a parental figure, because
Well, you can just have my stuff when I'm dead. How's
that
that?
seems not great. And then the right half, that's Tracy,
Yeah,
and some guy named Patrick. I think Necromancer Games fan would be familiar with Patrick Lowinger.
I believe
He's
so.
he's done a thing or two.
Done a thing or two, yes.
And okay, so now here's where my own private Idaho idiocy starts,
Oh boy,
because I want to kiss Jeff Talanian's bald head. This is
that
the
makes one of
rule of
you.
baldies. Yeah, no, he you can't see it in this picture, but he's ducking and dodging like I am a giant mosquito.
Yeah, that was a
Uh,
me too.
but Jeff Talanian, excellent to see him. Was very happy for his input in the Small Publishers
Definitely.
Union. Small Publishers Seminar. My bad. Um, but he is always fun as hell. This was the
Good Lord.
DCC game that I got in with DCC Matt, and I'm going to say Matt Goulet, I think, or Gullet. I can't pronounce things.
Fundamentally, it's Matt.
It's Matt, and this was
Gee,
a blast because we were all 0 level characters, and if you made it through an encounter, you got a stamp on your sheet that said you made it. And if you died, you got a stamp on your sheet that said you're dead, motherfucker, and you had to get
did we
up.
say the second part?
So if you died, you get a stamp on your sheet that says you're dead.
Okay, just
And
you're dead.
yes, and then you have to get up, and somebody else who's standing around the table observing gets your spot and gets to play until somebody else dies, and then you can come back in.
That's badass, but the stamp needs to have the extra part you added.
You're dead, motherfucker.
Mhm.
And it's hard to see in this picture, but it's easier to see in this picture. Somebody won the
Swipe the trophy.
trophy.
Swipe to
Now,
look.
I'm not gonna say what the trophy was for, but it's because I'm the best, and I
You
have
are
a
the best.
trophy to prove it.
You are the best. Now you can be a millennial.
Yes, and I'm not going to say that I didn't put that trophy on the headboard above me when I went to sleep that night, but I'm not going to say that I did not do
That's
that.
okay. The year I won Circus Maximus, I put the big trophy right in front of my wedding pictures where they belong.
Yeah.
So I
So,
know.
and for 100% clarity, I had to crop this picture because I didn't realize I was exposing my COVID gut in this shot. So I clipped that out so everybody didn't have to see.
He had it before COVID.
Yeah, it's like a little pink hairy baby.
Okay, forward now. Moving forward. There's more nudity later, I'm sure.
Yes, and this is the trophy in my jungular region.
Excellent. That was a
Then we
nice.
move on to the midnight auction,
Oh boy.
where our guest at the midnight auction was none other than Goddammit Zach, longtime hero and best friend Kurt Gould.
Yep. I don't know where that poster came from, but the Satan said that it was the 6th edition prototype cover.
Yeah,
And
it seems
probably
weird
right.
that it's right behind you at this point, Zach.
Oh, I think that I took a picture of it while I was there.
Oh, okay. So what happened, this was the end of the midnight auction. By this time, much shenanigans had gone on. I had declared a personal war with Mr. Jim Kitchen, which
Which
was
you lost.
which I absolutely lost. But we will get to that. There was a specific bidding incident for Rick Sanchez Szechuan sauce.
We'll get to that. But real quick, the reason that you have Kurt's poster there is because Satan every year finds something people leave behind. Somebody always leaves stuff behind. So he was actually auctioning off what Kurt had left behind in 2019. And apparently the prototype of the Player's Handbook 6th edition was part of it. There was also some other items. There was an ashtray with D&D on it.
Oh, so much stuff. The problem with this was it was the end of the night and everything showed up in a Deadpool backpack.
That's true. It did on purpose.
Yes, it did on purpose because I instantly bid on that. And when things started coming out of it, I was like, this is not for me. Which,
Well, you don't think that the Emery board Dungeons and Dragons, the Emery boards with the ampersand on them for you?
I don't
What about
think
the
so.
bolo tie that said D&D on it? No.
Yeah. But there were many fantastic items in the auction. And there was this incident where
Hey, that's my wife.
one of our
Hey, that's Steve Getty. Oh my God.
one of our
Oh my God, my
wonderful
wife, Steve Getty,
develettes
whatever.
had a T-shirt that Mr. Stephen Getty decided he needed to sniff that thing,
Is that
and
the one with, oh, I think I know what shirt that is.
we captured the photos of that. So yeah, disturbing. But
Well, my
here's
wife, she's very dutiful when she's doing her job for Satan,
here's the council of Satan with
Yeah.
our own Satan right there in the middle. His
Hey, those are both
develettes.
our wives. You think that would
And
bother us more than it does?
yeah, yeah,
So there's my wife and Mike out loud dressed like Satan. That's fine. My mom saw a picture of that one time. I want to
yeah.
know, like,
I mean, this happens. But
hey, it's Gary Oliver. Oh boy.
so there was this whole thing. Uh, there there was a Szechuan sauce up for auction, and anyone who is a Rick and Morty fan knows that this was a hotly contested item. I started the bidding quickly at $1 and was immediately
And
outbid.
you already overpriced its value, I think, at $1.
I overpriced its value and was immediately outbid with $101 by Mr. Jim Kitchen.
That sounds
So
right.
we had to do battle
And who won?
at the right in front of that table, and I lost.
What did
I
it go for?
lost.
What did Mr. Kitchen get stuck with? How much?
It was $101 because they immediately shut off bidding because they thought it would get out of hand.
Because he did that to me and it wound up costing me extra $200 for those John Carter books, and I'm okay
Yes.
with that.
However, because Mr. Jim Kitchen
Forgot it? Oh no.
is a top shelf
They
individual,
gave it to you? That's BS.
I was later gifted with this,
Oh.
and my appreciation for that man knows no bounds.
He just bid mine up and it cost me money. He's nice to you.
Yes, no, he has been
Oh,
wonderful to me.
he's a great
And
guy.
now this is a very obscure reference for our next and last slide. Before we did the North Texas convention, there was an entire incident about hand hearts, and it is a known thing that I am not a fan. Nope, I don't do them. I don't accept them. And there were a ton of pictures of people doing the hand hearts around me, and I could not find the pictures of me doing my alternate hand heart, which
That's not a good
was
thing.
a lot like that.
A lot like that, huh?
Yeah,
I have two things I want to show real quick, Skeeter, just to
please do.
midnight auction. You mentioned the midnight auction, and at the midnight auction, Roger Moore from TSR, who was the editor of
Yes.
Dragon Magazine. I have this with a certificate of authenticity that this was his dictionary, right? Kurt
What?
Boone provided this, and on the front it says, "This book is likely that some drunk, and striked out connoisseur finer things would bid on it. Some drunk. I wasn't drinking though, but I did win this awesome dictionary in the auction. That was the only cool item. Everything else in the auction was weird, unsettling, or had Rob Badalotto touch it.
Right. Yes, I decided to take out the picture of Rob Bottolato when he came into the midnight auction wearing only bad taste.
Real quickly though, Bill Barsh, I won it. You didn't. We with silent auction. I just wanted to, rub it in. Take that.
I didn't get anything from the silent auction,
I got tons of
and
stuff. None of you guys pay attention.
I didn't get anything from the squeaky cage tickets. Normally, I clean up on that.
I got every Star Frontiers module ever made. $100.
Woohoo! I'm
I'm
not sure
excited.
the reaction that's appropriate for that.
Well, I don't have them yet. Now I
Oh,
do.
okay, excellent. That is perfect. In summary, for North Texas, I enjoyed the shit out of it. I thought that was 5 days of just a well done
It's good to be back.
convention. I got to play some games with my son. I didn't get in on the game with my daughter. I'm not even mad that my daughter's first RPG game was with Ian McGarty and not me. I'll get over that. They both had a
You should be
wonderful
more mad than me.
time, and I want to thank everyone who helped me look after the kids and make sure that they had a lot of fun.
They were way better than I expected, being that they were your spawn, man. That was
Wow.
cool.
Just
I was impressed.
not even pulling any
They were
punches.
polite. No, they were polite, and they were pleasant to be around. And you could always. They came and sat down with us at dinner, and they were just super pleasant, nice, talking to Ainsley. You would have come in and made a big scene, and they were just awesome. I was impressed.
I don't even know how to respond to that. All right, 2001, A
The
Space
Star Frontiers
Odyssey.
module. The Star Frontiers module, no less. See,
Oh,
you don't have that.
fantastic. Excellent.
Your excitement is just contagious.
Hey, man.
I want to say Gary Oliver one more time. I want to thank Gary Oliver and Michael Battalato. I make fun of Mike all the time, but he and Gary did a lot of work to make sure this thing went off splendid. This cons are back, baby. Everybody there was great. It was everything about conventions I like happened. The things I hate were very rare and taken care of. And honestly, there were people there that were new to the con. There were walk-ins. There's a guy named Aaron who runs a YouTube channel called Aaron the Pendantic, and he was there with his wife. First con he's ever been to, first RPG con. And I saw his video. He said he could have bought everything in that room. Everything he ever wanted to buy was in one place. And he was so excited about it. He talked about it for a while. He was a great dude. And
Do
so
you
lots of people came.
do you remember the guys from Hawaii?
Yes, Jeremy and Ethan.
Yes, two of the nicest guys I have met. They were wandering around. We're gonna get them on the show too
Oh yeah,
to do an interview with them.
they are work with Hawaii Con, which is where everybody wants to be a special guest, but you have to be Luke Gygax to get your plane ticket paid for. So no, they're great. And he actually sent me a nice message. He wants to send me some Hawaiian coffee, which I was like, of course I want free coffee. So thank you very much.
Of course you do.
I'm gonna send
Yeah,
it back some stuff for his conventions from Frog God, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, lots of people. Wish we could mention everybody. I know we've forgotten somebody. I think that the first person we forgot to mention was, by all means, no, never mind. Just kidding.
oh, you're just no. There were definitely some people who were not there that we would have been much happier to see.
I took Alla C at the auction. I wish Alla and Gabe had been there. Kim
Yeah,
George has been ever, and she should be there.
yeah. Jim Wampler was not
Alex
able.
Cameron was there, but he was quiet.
Yeah,
Eric Tenkar was there. I mean, everybody we like and hang around with. It's like a whole family there of 300 people that we all know, and so it's been great. So it was a great con. I
yeah.
encourage you to go that one game hole are the ones that are coming up because it's a good community.
Yep. I want to thank the Getty clan, Mark Greenberg, Bill Meinhardt. Uh, See, now I'm gonna totally start forgetting people.
Bill Meinhardt got me that.
Zach, you're a giant. That box looks so small in your
Bill
hands.
Meinhardt was able to find that for me. I also got the Wilderness Survival Guide. Peck
Uh,
saw these and just laughed. Peck thought this was the dumbest thing I ever saw. Kurt Gould, these were awesome. Thank you. Peck's, he's a fool. They're
I
awesome.
want to thank the Stewarts, Mike and
Yes.
Liz, who were our neighbors at our table, and the Clarks, who were across the way, who we were just cracking up
No,
constantly.
that's
Uh,
probably the best booth to be near is Inner City Games.
oh man, yeah, that was fantastic.
Brian Stanley does not watch the show because he has a life, but Brian Stanley was wonderful to see at the con, did a lot of work. Rob Badlaw, for all we make fun of him, ran the both the chariots and the gladiator, and also was the live entertainment in the auction. He was great to see him again.
Black Blade Publishing.
Yeah,
Uh,
the two nicest guys we didn't bring up yet because all they did was sell things and be pleasant, and we don't
yes,
remember
Alan
that.
and John. Always great to see them. Uh, now I'm
Don't forget
starting
Ed
to
Bedford
forget
was there.
people.
Remember him?
Oh, and I want to say thank you very much whoever was in charge of getting the food trucks there. Awesome choices. The breakfast wagon was amazing. The burger wagon was fantastic, and
The Mexican wagon.
the Mexican wagon was
Tex-Mex.
great. Two big
The
thumbs up for Hard Hate Barbecue, where I ate I think a pound and a half of ribs.
That's it.
Uh,
They should throw you out of Texas for that little tiny bit,
I
man.
know, but people always ask me why I only want to eat barbecue ribs, and I say because I think that's like eating a person.
It's almost. On that note, Skeeter, we should probably go ahead and close that up.
All right. Well, this is a
I
little
mean,
bit.
that was really uncomfortable. Good
Yep.
job.
This is a little bit of a short episode, but we wanted to give our thanks to North Texas. You guys did
Back
great.
Levi Combs' Kickstarter.
Back Levi Combs' Kickstarter. I have to start writing something for it, and We'll see you guys at Gamehole.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Next
Bye.
week. Tom Canals next week.
Tom Canals will be our guest next week. We will talk about vampires and why he can never fly directly home after a convention.
Why he just can't go